everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I've uploaded anything. I have filmed, but I haven't uploaded because I don't know, I felt like they were not the best videos of me, but now I'm feeling way better. I've been working a lot lately, so that's why I haven't really been uploading. I'm working currently at Lush Cosmetics and I love it. Today I'm going to be doing my fall wrap up. So if you want to know which books I read, just keep on watching. And I'm pretty happy with myself because I read 23 books, which is pretty good. I feel like it's decent, right?
Sweet anticipation ever come.
So first thing I wanted to do this fall, reading-wise, was rereading the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. I only read the 3 first books. So first I read Fallen, which I've actually done a review on, so I'm gonna link that down below if you want to watch it. So basically, Fallen is a story about, it's really dark, it's really like the dark atmosphere, it's really nice reading about that. It's about fallen angels and a love story. It's a paranormal fantasy book. I like rereading it as an adult now. It is less enjoyable than it was at first, but I still really like it. So I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read the second one, which I wasn't enjoying as much as I thought I would. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be, so I gave it 3.75 stars out of 5 stars. I cannot like give these books like really low ratings because they are the books that got me into reading. So, and finally I read Passion, which is a really nice book. It has a lot of time travel aspect in it and I really like that. So I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars too. Now I'm going to get into the few books I did read for school but didn't really enjoy. So here they are. There are some that I don't have physically, but I'm going to still talk about them and the rating. I read Twelfth Night by Shakespeare. This is the bilingual version, so it has the French on one side and the English on the other side. And I did really like this book. It got me really into Shakespeare and I really want to get into more of his works. I found this to be an hilarious comedy and yeah, so this is like a love triangle and super fun and it's really nice. And then I read The Metamorphosis by Kafka. I don't have the book right now with me, but I did really enjoy this book. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. It was quite enjoyable. It was I found it long at times and it's a really short book. The pace of the book is really weird. I don't really know what it is in English, so I'm gonna say in French. It's Le Coffret Central by Charles Crow, which is basically a poetry book and that I had for my symbolism class, which I did enjoy this book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read The King of Chaos by Tierno Néambo, and this book I found it really dense. I gave it I think 2 out of 5 stars or 2.5. I mean, it was enjoyable, but I didn't find, because everybody in the class was saying like it had a lot of sarcasm. It's really ironic, and I was like, I didn't read that in this book. Then again, I don't know if this book got translated. I don't know. I'm gonna say the title in French, which is Palude by André Gide, and this book was the book I had like 70% of my semester on, and I hated this book. Like a week in the life of a guy, and it's really boring. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. I'm really sorry. That's my personal opinion. The one book I loved was I think it got translated in English, and it's Susan by Anaïs Barbeau-Lavalette, and this book is really good. So it's about a girl who has who's always been a little bit special, a little bit out of the box. She's been a feminist for like all her life before knowing it, before it was even a thing. And yeah, it's basically her story of how she abandoned her children and her family so that she lives out of the box by her art, and it's just so good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. That was really good. I will translate the title, The Ambiguous Adventure by Chikami Duquesne. And this book is, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It wasn't for me. It was really spiritual. It was really towards like the religion in Africa, and yeah, it just wasn't for me. Finally, the last one I read, it was after I abandoned university, but I was just like, I bought this book, so I'm gonna read it. It's a book that you can read in like 20 minutes. It is Pour les désespérés seulement by René Lapierre, and I hated this book. I just could not get into it. It really just wasn't for me, so I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Grim Grotto by Lemony Snicket, and I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. It took me a while to read it though. I was kind of in a slump with it. I haven't continued on with my series of unfortunate events because I feel like it's kind of repeating itself and I'm kind of getting a little bit bored. These books are really good. It's just like 13 books to tell the story. It's just that now like a lot of like the same things keep happening, and it's like, okay, they're really unfortunate, but come on, like, give them a break. But yeah, this book was good. It was good. I gave it 3.75 because it was a little bit long for me. Then I read this book when I was in my, like, the peak, I think, of my depression. Because I have a little bit, I've talked about it a little bit, but whatever, like, university really made me go, like, in the black hole, and it really wasn't for me, and I was sinking really hard in depression, and I had to get out of there to be healthy again. There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins, and I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. It was really average. It wasn't amazing. I did like some things inside of it, but it was average. It wasn't amazing, and this is sold as a horror book, but I would definitely say that it's a contemporary with like weird murders, because honestly, like, the killer and everything I didn't really like. I wish it would have been a contemporary because I would have liked it then. Okay, then I was in a Sarah J Maas phase. I really wanted to read all of her books. So I started with Tower of Dawn because I'm really invested in the Throne of Glass series by her. And I read this one and I really enjoyed it. I found it really nice, actually. A lot of people were apprehensive because this is kind of a novella that is 700 pages. But it was pretty good. I liked it, and I liked the romance inside of it. So I gave this book I think 4.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Milk and Honey and the Sun and Our Flowers by Rupi Kaur, and I didn't really enjoy these books all that much. I'm saying that they were good, but I found the poetry pretty average. Like, I just, like, people go, but how they left always stays. Like, that's good, but I found some moments were really cringy in these books, which is why, well, this one, some moments were cringy, but I liked some of the things, but I found some of the other things like really repetitive. I don't know. This book was, again, average for me, so I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars, and I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did find this one a little bit better, but I found them pretty average. Then I really got into my Sarah J Maas because I wanted to finish her books, so I did. So I read the ACOTAR series by Sarah J Maas, starting with A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it was really good. I did really enjoy it. Some parts I didn't like because of the, you know, I felt like reading a little bit from the point of view of Bella and Edward at some point in this relationship, which that I didn't like, but I loved some other parts of the book, so I think I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars, but like I said, I found like the main love interest to be a little bit too intensely overprotective, and I hate that. So yeah, but all these problems got solved in A Court of Mist and Fury, so that was really nice. Thank you, Sarah. She knew that we didn't like it. I love the love interest in these books. Well, starting from this book, and yeah, I really love this book, and I think it's really, really, really well done, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And also, it's about fairies, just so you know. After that, I read A Court of Wings and Ruin, which I didn't like as much because I started with the Throne of Glass series, which now is really like war, and like the crew is at war and everybody is dying. And it felt a little bit like this in this one, so I didn't love it as much because I did find that they had a lot of things that were similar, so I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. And I read Eliza and the Monsters by Francesca Zappia, and I did really like this book. There were some points that I didn't like as much, like the end, the love interest. I was kind of annoyed at him. If you've read it, you might know which part I mean. But whatever, I didn't love this book, but I did really, really like it. Well, I liked it a lot. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which is really great. I really liked it. I really liked the portrait of anxiety because it even gave me anxiety. And I like that it has illustrations inside of it that are made by the author, which is actually an illustrator. After that, I read The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I didn't really like this book. I don't know why. The main thing that happens in this story, I just didn't get it. Maybe it's me that I'm too dumb to get it, but it's just I didn't get it. And then watching the movie, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But after reading that, I was like, whoa, okay, that's weird. I found that the main character was a little bit too immature for me, and the topics that we were dealing with were a little bit subdued because of the fact that he sounded childish. So, I don't know. I know so many people love this book, but it just wasn't for me. And finally, we have now one of my favorite books, which is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I find this book to be incredibly inspiring and really, really nice. And the fact that it is not too romance focused for John Green is really, really nice, because most of the time we're really like romance and yeah. This was really into like the mental illness aspect. Which the main character deals with OCD that leads her to having anxiety, which it was so nice. I don't have personally OCD, so I cannot say if the rap is good. Personally, I did think the obsessive compulsive part was really, really well done, and I would definitely recommend this book for anyone really to understand a little bit more about OCD, because John Green has OCD, so it is in our own voices book, and I found it really nice. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!